Introduction to the Universal Laws. Sometimes I go about pitying myself, and all the time I am being carried on great winds in the sky. Obijowa saying. When we think of universal laws, we can consider them in two ways. The universal laws, like the laws of any nation, state, or society, are expressions of acceptable and unacceptable behavior. The explanations of these laws describe the results of these behaviors. The second meaning of the term laws refers to universal principles, or the ways in which cause and effect phenomena are related. The universal laws described in this book may be considered in both of these ways, because they constitute the framework or guidelines for our behaviors and what affects our lives. They comprise the foundation of what is expected of us, and thus provide an expression of right living. Most of us are strangers to the frontiers of the unseen, and the laws that govern this vague and mysterious area. Yet it is forces in the unseen that create the physical world, and its impact on our lives. Isn't it about time we began to explore this area and discover its effects on us? Everything in the universe reflects divine law and order. Without laws, life would be in chaos and would operate on a trial and error basis. Universal laws are the extensions of physical laws which apply to the spiritual world. They govern all planes of existence and provide the order in the universe that keeps everything flowing perfectly. All of these laws are interrelated. Some specific interrelationships are pointed out in the following chapters. Therefore, understanding these laws helps us to take control of our lives and provides us with a way to become God-realized. In other words, the laws provide us with a knowledge of results framework. After we have learned the laws, we may violate them, but only with the full knowledge that certain results are inevitable. When we analyze the universal laws at greater depths, we learn to understand their importance in our lives and their contributions to an orderly world. A deeper study reveals the universal laws are truth. The laws apply to everyone and provide justice or fairness for all. We cannot escape them, for they are the guidelines for life itself. One cannot live one's life outside the law. Only those who do not recognize the perfection inherent in the universe believe that they can escape the effects of the law. If they try to do so, they will battle endlessly and be tossed like a ship at sea in a storm. The laws are absolute and perfect. The only way in which we may bring peace and harmony to our lives is ultimately to surrender to the laws and to make choices within them that bring our souls to a higher level of consciousness. The laws provide a sense of order and predictability. We know that living outside the laws also has predictable consequences. We may not realize the positive or negative effects of our behaviors in the short term, but we can be assured that a fair and just outcome will result from each action we take. The laws provide us with ways of overcoming negative outcomes. They specify ways of changing the results of our behaviors and give us insights as to behaviors we need to avoid. When we live within the laws, we not only help ourselves, but we also help others. Each of us exerts influence over the people around us. When we live within the laws, an attraction effect occurs, causing others to follow our examples and act in a similar way. What happens to one affects the all. We live in a holographic universe, which means that the whole is contained in each small particle. Understanding universal laws keeps our minds focused on the interconnectedness of all things. The laws remind us that we live simultaneously in more than one world. While we experience the space-time coordinates of the physical dimension, we are bound by the spaceless, timeless precepts of the unseen dimensions. Present-day teachings keep us tied to the physical world, making it difficult for our minds to grow in other dimensions and realities. It is only through the opening of the doors to understand metaphysics and the subatomic world of energy that we may understand the influence this world has on us. Our evolution depends upon our doing so. The next frontier for evolution is that of the mind. As we move forward in this arena, understanding universal laws will enhance our abilities to understand the power of the mind and its influence on our lives. Learning about universal laws helps us to learn about ourselves. We can witness the effects of the cosmos' influence just by watching how things manifest in our daily lives, for the same great truths guide everything. Living within the laws affirms our commitment to God's intent and plan, and moves us closer to our Creator. The laws express the ways that our Creator designed to help us achieve the vision of a peaceful and productive universe and existence. We are one with the laws, therefore we must know them. The universal laws are truth and cannot be altered. They are the keys to unlocking the mysteries of the ancient worlds and understanding how the citizens of the 6 golden ages before us achieved greatness. These truths are traced back to Hermes Trismegistus. Hermes was known as the master of all masters, and his influence touched all civilizations on earth like rays projecting from the central source. His truths were integrated into all master religions in lands around the world. The following 13 chapters discuss the universal laws that comprise the foundation for life itself. Each chapter describes one law of the universe and includes applications of that law to our everyday lives. 11 chapters include messages from Ascended Master El Morya, the Kohan of the Blue Ray, and Governor of Universal Laws. One chapter, the first, is introduced by Ascended Master Pallas Athena, who was sent to set the vibration of oneness for this document. 12 laws were selected for inclusion in this book by El Morya. These, he says, comprise the basis for love, and thus for all that is. The importance of reading the message goes beyond the meaning of the words themselves. Each message is coded with a vibrational frequency, which has been given to it by the master transmitting the message. The reader receives this coding while reading the message, even though the mind may not retain or fully comprehend the meaning of the words. This creates a resonance field that provides the reader access to the words and wisdoms, not only of the ascended masters who delivered the messages, but also of some of the greatest celestial beings who govern the universe. Enjoy this section. It is the most important part of the book. The authors are aware that other writers may organize the same information in different ways, so read this section with a flexible mind. This format is only one way in which to learn. Okay, Chapter 8, beginning with Energy, the Foundation for Universal Laws. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are all endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Declaration of Independence, United States of America. On July the 4th, 1776, the signers of the Declaration of Independence of the United States of America proclaimed that all men and women are created equal. This statement was based on the premise that, on some level, individuals do have equal rights, and that they should have the privilege of exercising those rights. If we were to take a poll asking people's opinion as to whether or not they believe all people are created equal, we probably would receive mixed reactions, with the majority stating that this is furthest thing from the truth they have ever heard. They might cite examples of racism and sexism, and include stories of the handicapped and the disadvantaged. Feeling that they had proven their point, they might also challenge opponents to provide evidence of the contrary, to disprove their own evidence. Individuals who repeatedly have been victimized and oppressed by society might have the loudest voices, which is understandable. So why did our founding fathers write such a bold statement when this country was created? What did they know that we may not understand?